Hey, this is GunSully from thepodcast.com, and I met up with the Slants, and we watched the JKNews video about them and did some reacting. Also, this is only a fraction of the full hour-long video recorded with the Slants. We got into some really deep conversation and revealed some super personal experiences. It really went a little off the rails, but it was incredible. Due to the controversial nature of the full video and the subject matter we discuss, the full version will only be available on the Antisocial News YouTube channel. Link in the description. Links to The Slants, JK News, JK Films, and Go For Broke will also be available in the description of this video. A heartfelt thanks from all of us at thepodcast.com to JK News and The Slants. Please enjoy.
Hey, this is GunSully for the podcast, and I have with me today Joe Jiang of the Slants, Ken Shima of the Slants, and Simon Tam of the Slants, of TED Talk, of Lee vs. Tam. This is what is the remainder of the Slants. We don't have you yet. That's a whole nother story. So if you, that's a whole nother. We'll get to that. Anyway, we're going to do a reaction video. There were some shots fired earlier this year by some YouTubers that we all like. Do you guys like JK News?
All right.
Okay. Maybe
I wouldn't call it shots fired.
Yeah.
I'd say it's like
shots fired. Yes.
ping pong balls tossed this
maybe
way.
you guys forgot how horrible those shots were. So we are going to do a reaction video here. Okay. All right. Let's get into it. The iconic JK
And
intro.
is it offensive news?
Maybe.
That's a new one. Submitted by fan since Kapu.
Oh,
I roll with the
Go in the cop.
Kapu.
The Slants is suing to be allowed to trademark their name. Why, somebody else wants it?
Is it racist?
Oh, it's based on...
U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, they didn't approve. They refused their trademark because the name is disparaging
To Asian people.
to Asian
That's very
Americans.
nice.
That's nice.
Thank you guys.
Yeah.
That's helping us
Okay.
out, even though I don't mind that word.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
So they actually made him despair.
He just thanked the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office.
yeah, I'm cool with that.
Yeah, so this
It doesn't hurt me.
band is an all Asian American band from Oregon.
Oh, come on, give them the name.
Thank you.
Yeah, they're from Oregon.
Slants, I fucking love that.
That's like we can't like NWA can't be called NWA because it's
It was with attitude, right?
There was...
Is it trademark?
But remember when Nas tried to put out his album?
Yes,
and he
they
called
did.
it... Dude, they had to take it off.
Wow.
Yeah, so, yeah, or something like
Maybe they have to change it to Slants with Attitude. SWA.
Yeah.
Southwest Airlines.
SWA exists as a group.
What is it?
SWV.
The name may be offensive, but they chose it because they want to reappropriate its meaning.
How many Erhus there?
Yeah, is that accurate? Is that what you guys... were you just trying to reappropriate the meaning?
I think I can remember this particular article that she's reading from, but I can't remember which source it is exactly. I know they actually had a lot of the facts kind of wrong, which was kind of funny. Well, no, for us, it wasn't necessarily to reappropriate it. That was one of many different meanings. The reason why I chose the band name was because it has a lot of different meanings. Reappropriation is one of them, but I would say we didn't reappropriate the term slant. I would say Asian American activists reappropriated like 30 years ago with all the amazing things they've already been doing. Slant Magazine, Slant TV, Slanted Screen, all these things they've been like using it. We were just honoring the work of other activists who were using it as a badge of self-empowerment. So it's not like we're doing it. Other people did it. We're just like paying them kind of a nod to do that.
And it's like a double entendre, layers upon layers kind of reference.
Yeah, because for me, when I started, it was about a perspective, my slant on life, what it's like to be a person of color, and then my really obscure musical reference that nobody ever gets, that, we use slant guitar chords and slant guitar cabinets. Yeah, that's right.
Slant guitar chords.
Yeah, but nobody ever gets it.
I didn't get it.
That's
I'm a
breaking.
terrible
That's
guitarist.
breaking news. The podcast just broke some breaking news. Slant guitar chords was a hidden reference in the name of the Slants. Okay. Awesome.
He's broken that news in the past.
Well, it just broke for me. You Cthulhu shirt wearing guy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
back to
They
this.
have in the band.
Urhus. I don't know what that is.
This guy is like substantially older than me.
I love how they're
He's actually not. He's
like a Chinese
younger.
restaurant or something.
They probably did.
So
You
this
talking
is a
about Tyler?
band.
What kind of music do they make? Are they good?
Sorry, Tyler.
She said rock, yeah.
Sorry,
No, I
Tyler.
didn't say rock, but you guessed it. Yeah.
I thought you said a rock band.
Maybe.
Dumpling, dumplings, put in my mouth.
It's just a band.
Wonton noodle.
Okay. They just suggested that your music was about dumplings and wonton noodles.
Hold up.
Yeah,
Hold up.
that's how
To
we're
be
gonna start
fair,
starting.
like the working titles of almost all our songs actually are names of Asian food dishes.
Okay.
For example, our song "You Make Me Alive" that was
Yeah.
originally called "Baby Got Bok Choy." We had, Who Shot the Radio was called Shumai. We were just talking about dumplings. Too bad ping pong dumplings is really expensive, but dumplings. Ping pong dim sum, yeah. Hargao was another one. I mean, so it's just kind of in there. We have fun working titles.
So
Plus, we're talking about reappropriated words. One of our favorite musical groups, the notorious MSG.
Yes, right.
Their songs, they talk about wontons all the time.
That's
except
right.
in their case, wontons are referring to the. That's
Well,
the,
the Zaftig.
Yeah. But
Daftig, that's right.
That's the Yiddish for.
Well, they also talk about the egg rolls.
Yeah, the egg rolls.
That'd be the male version.
I don't need to gesture the egg roll.
And then they also say like, "Hey, don't be a chicken if you want beef."
Yeah. See, I mean, so we're not the first. We won't be the last.
Okay. All right.
But I would say they were the best.
They are absolutely the
throwing
best.
down the.
All right.
All right.
Well, I still think that there were some attempted shots fired. So I want a fair assessment of their musical abilities. What did you think of their?
I wouldn't call it music. I think they're just.
Ooh! Shots fired. The Slants.
I think that guy was a better air guitarist than I was. So.
All right.
You should enter an air guitar.
Yeah, I'll
competition.
lose to him.
Yeah. And I don't think I could play the recorder like that or whatever that was.
That was
Yeah, he's the mudda best at recorder.
Chashu Park.
China beers. Okay.
Yeah, they call it dance rock.
Dance rock, like LMFAO kind of.
Track number 2, negative reinforcement.
What other songs do they have?
Huh? Negative reinforcement.
What other
Bing bow, bing bow.
Okay.
Sing tao, sing tao.
Maybe your mother love you.
Your mother love you.
Be not good enough.
Conditional love. Conditional love.
What about their album?
Beat you down.
Beat you down. I like that.
A minus, you die.
A minus, you die. Beat you down. Oh, this is dude.
Dude.
That's fucking tight.
Compare you to your cousin.
Yeah, that's my
Compare you
favorite.
to your
That's my
guy.
favorite right there. That's so good.
So you like all the Asian parenting
Yeah.
jokes? Pretty accurate.
Yeah.
I think
Okay.
that last one was the best.
It's legit, man.
Okay.
He couldn't find his mouth. He was like,
Your cousin.
that was fucking funny. Compare it to your cousin.
I got it.
Yeah,
I mean,
so
it was
this
kinda like when we were
band
doing
tried.
the Daily Show, and they were doing this running joke where they had Ronny Chang trying to drop as many like offensive, weird,
Band names.
Asian kind of band names as possible, and he's like Gook Face Killer. And, he had a whole it was like a non-stop. In fact, they edited out probably like 20 or 30 of them, and then we were just sitting there like helping him think of new ones too.
Well, that actually is an awesome thing. So you were part of like the writers' room, sort of like.
I mean,
humor
well, the producer already
teaching.
kind of wrote out the whole thing, and then they're just like, I mean, they had interview questions, and we could answer however we wanted, but whenever he had to do something kind of weird or silly, it was just like, don't react. So we just have to like stare or something like that.
Has he ever thought of working for the Supreme Court? Because they did about the same thing, coming up with crazy hypothetical names there. That was brilliant. Okay, I'm sorry.
Peace Park.
Their first attempt to register their band name was in 2011, and so they sued after they were refused. And so
2011 was the
this
second.
case is reaching the U.S. Supreme Court now.
Wow.
Yeah, and they're saying that
It's not worth it.
How much money is it costing to get all the way over here?
There might be a lawyer, like a civil rights defense lawyer or something, that's willing to take the case.
Or priest.
Yeah, well, the lawyer for the band leader says that his client was following in the long tradition of reappropriation in which members of minority groups have reclaimed terms that were once directed at them as insults and turned them outward as badges of pride.
I don't want that as a badge of pride.
ACLU had a lawyer, amazing lawyer, that spoke on behalf of us. Well, not on behalf, but spoke.
Lee Rowland, like
Rowland.
she was at oral arguments at the federal
Awesome.
circuit,
Oh, wow.
and she killed it like 10 minutes.
So good.
And she was like on fire, shutting those judges
Yeah.
down, all 12 of them.
And this is from coming from the USPTO office. His lawyer basically like just giving up like halfway through. You can see it in his body. He was just like, I can't do this. This is not my
first
scene.
of all, that I felt bad for the guy because he was stumbling so badly, and just like could have went up there and corrected him on the differences between trademark and copyright and the nuances of the law. And he had 11 attorneys with him, and they're all like scrambling and handing him notes and stuff, and he's just reading them. He was and just didn't know what to do.
Yeah, it's
intense. It's like a cage match.
Yeah.
But like 12 on 1.
Yeah.
So like I was sympathetic because I was like, man, I would not want to be in that situation.
The division that I had when I was there was literally, imagine like a Roman Colosseum, and like the king or the justice, they were just like throwing like lions and, like, at the guy.
I was like picking up a lion.
Questions.
Here's a lion.
Here's another
Here's
one.
a bear.
Here's 2 more.
Someone's like, here's a rabbit. I don't want to throw the lion.
He's even overwhelmed by the rabbit.
Yeah, he's over. He's like, this is the worst rabbit
It's
ever.
like the rabbit. Yeah, Monty Python.
That's awesome.
But that's what it was like in there. It was like a pit, and then whatever attorney was up, they were the target now of every single judge.
Our lawyer got like socked in the face a couple of times too. But then Lee Rowlands like showed up, and she was just like,
it was like she was the one in the Matrix.
yeah. No, all the like the animals fly at her and just stops and then drops to the ground.
And she would just be like, okay, and then just like, but I mean, she was not like, didn't even flinch. She was just like, no, that's not how the law works. Here's the Constitution. Here's this case. I mean, it was like, whoa.
I was trying to describe, because, I got into the Supreme Court stuff just because of you guys. Like, I didn't know that you could go to the Supreme Court website and download MP3s of Supreme Court hearings. And I did that for you guys. My wife actually read the thing because she can read. I can't. So I downloaded it.
Well, I'll tell you.
Listen to it.
The best version of this is someone took the audio from it and put it to dogs that represent different Supreme Court justices.
I've heard about this.
Yes. Well, last week tonight, John Oliver's show actually put up all this free footage, so someone recreated the entire argument with that. So that's the best way to hear it.
I described the concept of a Supreme Court hearing, or just basically any court lay hearing like that, is like a reverse sci-fi convention. And we're at a con right now, so...
Otakon?
Otakon 2017. I almost went back in time.
Anti-social news podcast 2017.
Yes. Okay, so it's 2017, and we're at Otakon, and the concept of the Supreme Court is like a reverse science fiction panel where the panel asks crazy hypotheticals at the audience and puts them on the spot, and that's I think it was Kagan asked your lawyer, was it Ron? I can't remember what his name was.
No, it was John who was arguing.
Yeah, at the Supreme Court level, it was, and he was unflinching when she asked the question. I'll still remember this. What if it was a white supremacist band and they were wearing yellow face with slanted eye makeup, which I don't even know what slanted eye makeup is.
Justice Roberts.
It was the
very first question.
It was. I thought it was one of the females that asked that.
Roberts first.
Roberts
question.
asked that.
Like,
all I remember is
everything.
your lawyer, no flinching, just goes, freedom of speech. Yes, I would defend that.
Yeah.
Like, no flinching, no hesitation. And I was just still like, what? Slant and I makeup? And I'm like trying to think of the logistics of the makeup. I'm like, what? Where did they even come up with this idea?
The reality is that has nothing to do with the trademark registration anyways. Like, that's the thing. It has nothing to do with the trademark registration. Because we can go up there and, you know, wear the same kind of makeup. We can make ridiculous caricatures of ourselves, but that doesn't change the application.
No. All right. Let's get back to these shots being fired.
It don't even sound cool.
The slant sounds dope.
Oh, I was thinking the word chink. I'm sorry, continue. I was in my own world. I'm sorry.
Okay, Gio loves you guys. You cut that right off. All the love is from Gio.
I don't want that word chink. It doesn't sound cool.
Yeah, so they're saying that the ruling for this case could impact the high-profile case of the American football team, the Washington Redskins. So, in 2014, the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office canceled the team's 6 trademarks, including the lucrative team logo, after years of complaints from Native American groups.
Oh yeah, what happened to that team?
It makes sense because I feel like it has to be the word and the whatever, it has to be owned by the people.
Yeah.
That it's, you know, being labeled as. And so if they're Asian American, then they have the ownership of the word.
Does that mean the biker gang can't be called Mongols anymore? We gotta take that back? Have to come up with
It has to be Mongolians.
Because it's all Mexicans, but now we gotta take it back.
It's Mexicans and white people.
The Redskins lawyers, they noted that other offensive names have previously been approved by the Patent Office, including trademarks for Yellowman, Redman, Blacktail, Jap, and Mooney.
Redman? You talking about
What's a Mooney?
I don't know what a Mooney is.
Red man and meth man.
Mooney is originally referred to the cult.
Okay.
The Moonies. But because of someone's religion, they're like, oh, it could be someone. The logo for Moonies was actually someone pulling their pants down, mooning. So they thought they could be, you know, the kind of universalist kind of jab at them.
That's funny.
But it actually, like, a whole lot worse has been registered than just those. Most of them people don't even print.
What was Jap?
Jap?
Wait.
Short for Japanese.
Yeah, I got that.
Oh,
but I
no,
mean, like, what was
it's
the
an acronym actually.
What was the trademark?
Stood for Jewish American Princess.
Now, that was. I've heard that said, but like that was a trademark.
Yeah, a registered
Somebody trademarked that.
Every single slur you could ever think of for an Asian American is a registered trademark.
And we brought up cheese nips earlier today. Yeah, that was
Ken's next Halloween costume.
right.
He's gonna hold a block of cheese next to his face.
I'm sure he's gonna say something about it soon, so I can.
They took those. They weren't allowed.
Those were all approved.
They were approved. Jap man?
No, Jap.
Oh.
I didn't even know Jap was offensive for the longest time.
Because Jap just sounds like the short
word of Japan. Yeah.
Yeah, but you know nips, right?
Nips, the cheese nips.
No, it's candy.
Oh, I thought it was like cheese nips.
Well, there's also cheese nips, but then there's nips, the candy. It's like a caramel.
For another Asian like group, not even Japanese, and then like this year it was like, no, it's short for Nippon, and I was like, I'm not offended.
Well, it's kind of like the old slur heap, short for Hebrew.
Right. Well, and I have to say, like, that's like nip for Nippon is weirdly culturally sensitive because
you have to know Japanese
exactly.
name for
exactly.
Japan.
You have to know at least know the real name for Japan.
It's like I'm a racist who reads.
Right.
Culture racist.
I feel like it offends people that were born or like that were alive during
that time. Yeah.
In my Asian American history classes, when I saw like the whole Japanese going into internment camps, they had signs that were like "slap the Jap," and then that was a derogatory term.
The nips.
Nips and Jap.
Slap the Jap. Eat a cracker Jap.
But I think in Australia,
still thinking about track.
They use that as a
half white, half Japanese person. Or like a basketball team full of Japanese and white people. Like some sports team, the Cracker Jabs.
Or a tasty snack. Fusion food.
I do think it sounds delicious for somebody. Now that I'm thinking that, like, now that I'm associating Japanese people slurs with Cheez-It knockoffs, now it's like Cracker Japs.
Cracker nips.
I'm guessing it's like Cracker Jacks, but with like Japanese.
But like those rice
like,
crackers instead. dipped in
yes,
cheese.
and like cheese it.
All right, guys, I'm really hungry. I haven't eaten
Oh,
since
gosh.
my $13 smoothie that I had this morning. All right, I'm really
you had some
hungry.
You had some vegan jerky that
I did have
tasted
some vegan
like very
jerky.
weird. And
That sounds disgusting.
you should have eaten it when I offered earlier.
As a cool slang.
Jap?
Yeah, they're like, oh, she's Jap. Or whatever, I heard it.
Yeah, it sounds so like normal. It's just like shortening it.
I think it's just the history of how it was used.
She's Mex.
I didn't know that Jap was derogatory until I started taking Japanese class. And I said, I was like, oh yeah, he's like, you Jap? And she was like, the hell? I was like, what the f***? Is that offensive?
Oh, you said that?
Yeah, I didn't know Jap was. I was lazy. I just shortened that shit. I said Jap because I equated to Viet.
Yeah.
Viet pride. You know what I mean?
Pride.
Filipino flip.
All right. Thank you so much.
We're not yelling at you, JKNews.
I'm yelling at you.
Peter's yelling at you.
We absolutely love you, JKNews. Thank you for mentioning the slants, and I hope you enjoy this reaction video, which got really, really deep at different points. Thank you, thank you, Simon Tam.
This is actually very much like the news. He was trying to create headlines.
Yes.
And he's trying to make it.
Shots
No, he was
fired!
about-
Shots fired!
breaking
I'm firing shots at anti-social news and the podcast.
You're breaking the news.
Oh, shots fired!
Oh no, shots fired.
Why did you make your face
I
much bigger
made,
than
I
ours?
made my face bigger.
To cover up everything.
Yeah, to cover up everything else. All right, no. This is Sully for the podcast and anti-social news and chiming out. Keep talking it out. Bye bye.